Hello and welcome back to the finals at the game shop in Aldershot. Unfortunately, Adam isn't able to join us today, so I've got Tom who's going to stand in. Speaking of Tom, today's match is Tom on Azusa, otherwise known as FNM Miku, fighting off against Misha playing Kroxa. So Tom, this is your third time on the channels. How are you feeling?
Going into this,
Yeah.
I was very, very nervous.
Okay. Have you played against Misha's Kroxa deck
A
before?
few times, and it's a very bad record.
Okay. Well, best of luck with this game. Tell us about your opening hand.
Phenomenal.
Yep.
5 lands, 2 tutors, halfway to Dark Depths, Thespian stage combo. Best hand you can really get in the deck.
Not more you can ask for. Misha's hand's also looking pretty good. He's got a couple lands, often to grab another one. Snuff out some removal spell if he ever needs it, and some early aggression with the Copter and the Bronco. So let's see how the game goes. Tom, you're on the play, I believe. Okay, so what are you leading with?
Starting with the fetch and the passing.
Nice. No turn to Azusa then.
Unfortunately, well,
We'll
unfortunately, no 1-drop in hand, but I do have a certain card in my hand which may help.
Worldly Tutor? Hate to spoil, okay. So crowing a forest. Easy decision to make.
Wow, there's just so many lands to pick from in this deck.
Which
so many
artwork of
basics.
forest do I want to go for?
Do I go for that forest or do I go for the other forest, which is identical? I think all my forests are...
Very nice choice of forest, I will say.
They're all actually from you.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, so what are you tutoring here? Do you remember?
I do not. I think both... Well, I think the first game was quite slow on my end.
Okay.
I don't want to overextend too much, and
Sure.
and especially into red decks.
Oh, you didn't play the Worldly Tutor?
Actually not.
Okay.
Into red decks, getting any kind of mana dork tends to just tends to die immediately.
Sure, that makes sense. So you're saving it for later?
I am saving it for later.
And at this point in the game, is there a card you're waiting to save to search for, or is it more situational?
It's situational. Obviously, there's cards that are insane after you've played Azusa.
Yeah.
Because we play lands from Grave, Ramanap. But yeah.
But I guess in this matchup, you feel safe that when you cast Azusa, she's going to resolve. You're going to get 2 more lands. She might die after that, but you're always going to get that extra 2 land value from it. And when you say this matchup's not been good before, why is that? Is it early aggression? Or?
It tends to be early aggression.
Yeah.
Because it does tend to always have an answer to Azusa after you've played 2 lands.
Sure.
So you are ramping 2, then that's great. But if you don't have the lands in hand to kind of like play after to get that 7 drop down,
yeah,
it can be rough.
hard to get there.
But it tends to be a lot of very, very close games.
Sure.
Where just getting into lethal before I swing with a Merit Lage or something.
So Misha's deployed the Smuggler's Copter here. Very powerful card, banned in standard back in the day. You've played another fetch land in your fetch land tribal deck.
Yeah, Terramorphic Expanse, probably the worst fetch and the worst land in the deck.
Is it a card that should be replaced eventually?
Yes,
okay,
100%.
Sure. So it's a temporary
Virgin
inclusion.
Catacombs, which I don't own. Definitely should be there. So that.
Is that the only one of the 4 green fetches you don't have?
I believe so.
Right. Okay. So you're close.
Yeah, I am.
And I'm guessing you run like Prismatic Vista as well.
Don't own that either.
In theory.
In theory, yes.
And you're also quite a fan of the New Capenna fetch lands.
Yes.
And those you will actually keep, or are those?
It's a hard one.
Sure.
I will probably keep at least one.
Because of the life gain.
Because of the life gain.
Okay, that's fair. Also, I thought there's some. If you're ever returning a land card from your graveyard tapped,
yes.
In that instance, it still sacrifices.
Yes.
Whereas if you return another fetch land tapped, it doesn't sacrifice.
Very good against Thalia and the Gitrog Monster.
Exactly.
Which is a matchup played multiple times at
our locals.
Yeah.
So the Dust Bowl here, it destroys any non-basic land, right?
It does.
And if Misha is looking like he gets mana screwed or anything, that's
pretty powerful. Yeah. There's multiple games have been won on this deck just by destroying people's lands after they're already mana screwed.
I think a lot of decks in this format can be quite mana greedy. You don't need to run a lot of lands. You play a lot of efficiently costed spells. Yes. So a lot of people want to curve out 3 or 4 lands maybe. So if you can really capitalize on that.
Especially decks with more than 2 colours.
Yes.
It's really...
100%. Yeah. So playing the Caustic Bronco here, crewing the Smuggler's Copter, thinking about doing an attack. And deciding to.
Yeah.
Cracking in response to the draw discard
Yes,
trigger?
this was a decision that she was making to which order to do them in.
Right, okay. So he decided to crack before he draws and discards. Interesting. I guess that would indicate that he's probably not looking to draw a land.
Yes.
So he's trying to slightly decrease the number of lands in his deck. Well, he seems to be thinking about. Do you remember what he's? Did he say anything to you at the time of what he's thinking about here?
I think he was talking about the order in which he did them.
Sure, trying to decide what
Yeah.
it was. Yeah. Okay. I'm assuming he's going to grab the Raucous Theatre to get the Surveil land, unless he's got a follow-up play. Do you remember what's in your hand right now? What's your plan to do?
My plan is tutor for something, play a big thing.
Combo piece or
Ideally away
Sure.
to get the Dark Depths combo.
yeah, because you've got the Thespian Stage in play. You just need to grab the Dark Depths, and the 3 mana tutor you have in your hand. Remind me that searches for a land.
It either tutors for a land,
Yeah.
goes into the battlefield.
Sure.
It tutors for a creature, goes into the hand.
Yeah,
It can also be used as kind of like a punch.
sure.
And it's got a third mode, which I can't remember what it is.
Does it gain life? I mean, it's a green card with modes. They often gain life.
Oh. Maybe it destroys an artifact or enchantment. It's a very green thing
Sure,
to
that
do.
is also a very green thing to do. So he got the Blood Crypt in the end, entering untapped, which it would indicate that he has another play. Discards the World Gorger. So both of you have half of a combo set up.
Yeah, yeah.
See who gets there first. Although you said you weren't aware of how the combo worked. Were you aware that card was a combo piece?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I was actually made aware during the game
Sure, okay.
that it was part of a combo piece by Misha.
That's very kind of him. It's a really cool combo, I think.
Yes,
quite unique.
yes.
Although it does mean you have to run a pretty terrible card, World Gorge Dragon, which is just outside of the combo absolutely terrible. But I guess Dark Depths also is quite bad outside of the combo.
Yeah,
Land
I don't
does
think
tend
I've
to-
ever resolved it just by removing counters from it.
Yeah, because it's what 3 mana to remove
It's 3 mana
counters,
to
so it's
remove a counter.
30 mana.
30 mana, yeah.
But it's doable.
It is.
If the game's in a drawn out state, it gives you an outcome. So
Worldly Tutor.
sure. And what are you going to grab here? Do you remember?
I believe, looking at the board today, what I
Sure.
definitely should have grabbed if I didn't,
Yeah.
was Prime Time.
Sure. Okay. That's a card you added not recently, but you
It was kind of added in the middle of this deck's
yes.
kind of life cycle.
and you definitely enjoyed that card.
Oh, it is probably the best card in the deck.
Yeah. Okay.
Just
wow.
like, if you were to top deck any card,
Prime
that
time.
is the card you want
Sure.
to top deck.
But ETBs just fetches up both parts of the combo.
Yeah.
And here, as you said, prime time.
Yeah. Like it's a perfect time to do it as well. Because
Yeah.
even if Azusa gets destroyed in some way,
Sure.
I can still play a land for turn,
Yeah.
pay 6, play it, tutor for those 2, and there's
Fantastic.
nothing. I don't know of any cards
Yeah.
that in those colours that would stop it for 1 mana.
Sure. I can't think of any either.
No, that's good.
Because you have to stop the ETB trigger.
Yes.
Which isn't easy to do. Okay. So, did you have the land in hand?
I don't actually remember. I must not have had it. Must not have.
Because as you said, play land, slam prime time. But you seem to be thinking.
I think I try and play it slower.
Sure. Okay. 3 mana. Tireless Provisioner?
That is yes.
Yes.
Which creates me treasures
Or food.
or food, and I
Yeah.
believe. Yes, my plan is yes. I didn't have a land that tapped mana as it came in.
Sure.
I did have the better version of
Secret Tunnel?
I
Or
believe
Escape Tunnel?
yes. It's Terramorphic Expanse,
Yep.
but better.
Because it also has a second
Also has a
mode,
secondary ability,
which
yeah.
is to give something unblockable?
Something with power 2 or less, I believe.
Sure, okay.
Unblockable.
Yeah, I mean, it is just literally strictly better Terramorphing
Yeah.
Expanse.
And so unfortunately I couldn't get anything that taps mana.
Sure.
So I decided to.
Go with a backup plan. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Also, it's really the making food ability. When I put it in the deck, I was like, we just use it to make loads of treasures, play big things.
Yeah.
Creating foods is
Oh,
really relevant,
I can imagine
especially
against,
in this deck.
against a Kellen deck or something
Oh,
like that.
yeah,
100%. Yeah, I think, most of the time you'll be choosing treasures, but in the scenarios where you need to choose food, you're going to be really grateful that it does more than
Yeah.
just make treasure. And also, I guess, your deck also just does make loads of mana anyway, so sometimes you just won't need more mana, but you might need some more life.
Yes. So here I'm tutoring.
This is with the Archmage's Charm.
is-
Yeah. Archdruid's Charm?
Oh, yes, I
Yes,
believe so.
something along the lines.
It's a charm of Archdruid's charm.
Yes. And do you know what you're tutoring for here? The other half of the combo?
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
There we go. Dark Dance.
Okay. And is this this is an instant, isn't it?
It is an instant.
So you're doing this in Misha's end step?
I can't remember exactly.
Sure.
I may have done it during my own turn.
Sure.
To get those treasures to have that 2 mana up. But it may have just been a misplay on my part.
I think you're now moving into your turn. You did it in Misha's end step.
No.
So Misha is... Oh, he's searching the elephant.
Yeah, I must have done it during my end step, which is I don't know why I did that.
Well, it's... Fair enough. So Misha's moving to his turn. Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, you definitely should have done it during Misha's turn. Okay, so Misha here. I'm imagining is quite nervous.
He does have a flyer.
You have your dark... I mean, to be fair, you haven't represented your dark depths properly. Wherever 10 counters, Tom.
That is true.
He does have a flyer. Life totals, you're at 14, I believe. So... Damage-wise, the Bronco and the Copter, he can only attack with one of them. Doesn't represent a lot of damage. But if he can play a creature to create a Bronco, there could be a big creature, a big card on top to do a lot of damage to you. But I'd imagine Misha is quite nervous here. I mean, he does have a couple turns because he's going to pass to you, and then you can make the Merit Large in his next end step or during your turn if you decided to. And it's the turn after that. So he has kind of got 2 turns here.
So unfortunately for me,
Yeah.
there are very limited lands, especially that I run, that can deal with specifically artifacts.
Sure.
Because until it becomes a creature,
The
I don't have.
the Smuggler's Copter.
Yeah. I don't have any kind of interaction for it.
Sure. Is the only way for you to... I mean, you've got Artifact and Enchantment removal, though.
Very limited.
Very
amounts.
limited? Okay,
I think it might just be... If that is a mode on the Archdruid's Charm, that might be my only source.
Is probably the only card in your hand. Wow, okay. Good snipe with the Kroxa there.
Yeah.
Waste of a tutor.
Yeah, but, you know...
I mean, you still get your Merit Large coming down, so you shouldn't be too nervous. So yeah, crewing and attacking the Copter again here. Drawing and discarding a Swamp. And then... Oh, smart. So he played the Kroxa, from my understanding, to crew. And he also gets the saddle. Okay,
that's correct.
Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. One of the powerful things, just doing something like crewing in response to the sacrifice trigger.
Ripping cards out of my hand is rough, especially because I've got no draw.
Yeah.
This,
Yeah. No, so all you've... I mean, you've got your combo, but that's all. If that fails, you've got nothing at the moment.
Yes.
Do you play Tireless Tracker as well in your deck?
I do.
Which one do you think is stronger?
Tracker, almost definitely.
Because of the card draw?
It's a card draw, and it kind of is also kind of a secondary win con.
Because it can become a big threat. Yeah. But yes, it's nice to have both. Yeah. Both is always the best.
Although I'm not sure any of them make it into the final version of the list.
Right, okay.
I think there are better things you can do. Being 3 cost is really bad.
Me and Adam talked about this last time. Yeah. 3 cost is like a very crucial slot in this format. You need to be doing quite a lot to justify the cost.
Especially when my commander is also 3 cost.
Yeah, that's true.
So 2 cost cards are great because they slot in. If I don't get a ramp turn 1, they slot in nicely turn 2. If I get the turn 1 ramp, I can play them with the 2 lands I play after I play Azusa.
Yes, definitely.
So 2 cost is great. 5 cost plus is always great.
Because that's what you're ramping into. Do you play the Nisa that is a creature that's like a Lotus Cobra?
No.
You don't?
No.
Not necessarily saying you should. I was just curious to know if you did. It's basically Lotus Cobra, but then also, if it's the second time it resolves, you reveal until you hit an elf or an elemental, put it into your hand. So it would give you a bit of card advantage. It's like a Lotus Cobra with some card advantage. Although the cards it grabs might not be the best. It would grab your Evoke Elemental, and I'm not sure if you're any good elves. I'm assuming most of the elves are cards you'd want to see before. As opposed to after.
We need a lot of thinking here, because I think Misha's...
Well, he's very pressured.
He is.
In your end step here, he's going to be making the Merit Large, so he has to do something now. He basically has to win the game now, or dig for an answer from the Merit Lage. And seeing as is it hexproof and indestructible or just indestructible?
It's flying and indestructible.
However, black-red doesn't really have exile on
it doesn't. It doesn't. Which is very nice for me.
So, okay, so he's playing the Kroxa here. I think all the removal I can think of for Merit Lage and Misha's deck, at least that comes to mind immediately, is Sorcery Speed, like the Chaos Defiler, Toxic Deluge. Toxic Deluge is a bad removal because he's a lot of life.
Yes.
He has to kill himself, so it wouldn't work. And then there's also the only one I can think of is Children's Edict, which is he could name token and make a sacrifice token creature.
That would, yeah.
But I mean, clearly he doesn't have it, or he'd be playing differently. Instead of playing the Kroxa, I think he just got the Sylvan Scrying, which is any land that searches for, isn't it?
It is any land. That is one of the, again, perfect cards to play either the turn before Azusa or the turn with Azusa.
So, question for you about your deck. How often do you go for the Merit Lage combo? Is that your primary win condition, would you say? Or
It is the primary win con, but sometimes just playing a prime time and just swinging over and over and over again just sometimes wins.
No,
especially against faster decks.
Yes.
Because once you kind of stabilise, you get that...
Yeah, 6/6 is a big body in this format. So here you make the combo. So you have to end up sacrificing both lands, don't you?
You do, yeah.
The Legend Rule happens first, then you sacrifice the other one. 2020 flying indestructible.
It is well worth it.
Well, it doesn't have trample either, so Misha does also have a block here. Okay, so he's brought himself some time.
A block if
you have no removal or anything. Yeah.
So annoyingly, this is where we'll see. I don't want to give away too much too early.
Sure.
So there are multiple points in this game where it is sad that I don't have any lands that are good at dealing with artifacts.
Sure. So
I don't know if
are you referring to the Urza's Cave?
Yes, that's one thing.
You could go grab anything here, but you can't get anything that deals with the Smuggler Sculptor.
No. If it was already a creature, I could phase it out.
Sure, of course.
Unfortunately.
So I think that works, though, right? Because you could move to combat, declare attackers, attack with Merit Lage. He then crews it, because he has to do that before the declare blockers phase. He does it in the declare attackers phase. He'd crew it. Then you could go get the phase it out before moving to declare blockers.
Oh,
I believe it works.
I think
yes. Ask Adam and check.
Actually, during this game, I did ask if a phased out creature still counts as blocking. Same way, like if it was removed.
It does. It doesn't count as being a blocking creature, but the attacker counts as having been blocked.
Yes. And I think because of that, it slipped my mind that I could do that.
But I still do believe there is a window after crewing before he can declare a blocker where you will gain priority.
In that case, that would have.
Oh, we learn something new every day.
Yeah.
It is a surprisingly complicated game, Magic the Gathering.
Well, yeah, you know.
In a beautiful way. So here, do you remember what you're searching for with the Urza's Cave?
I'm literally just searching for if I have any lands that can do anything.
Sure, okay, this is a blind fetch.
It is.
And you went for the Town Gates to phase out the Kroxa.
Yeah, which you can crew in response.
He crews in response.
But I thought it's better to make him do it now.
Sure.
In hindsight, obviously.
It doesn't really achieve anything.
It doesn't, yeah.
Yeah. If anything, almost kind of, I'd argue that this is a worse play for a couple of reasons. One of them being that if he then draws an actual flying blocker next turn, you've lost your shot at doing this. However, I do understand you cracked looking for. You had to kind of get a target at that point. There's a fun thing you could do if you ever crack the Urza's Cave for this kind of reason where you're blindly searching. You could always get like an Echoing Deeps.
Yes,
and then just copy the Urza's Cave.
That is true.
So if you ever need to just blindly search and you can't find something, that's just an idea I've just thought.
That's true.
Not that it's the best line, but
yeah.
So yeah, swinging and blocking makes a lot of sense. Passing back to Misha, who's probably your life total is getting lower, so there's a reasonable chance he could do something.
I can't remember the name of the card that lets me play lands from the top.
Courser of Prefix.
I played that card hoping to maybe gain some life.
Nothing.
But no, it's Light of Halfling. Yeah.
Strong card, but not right now.
Incredible card.
I mean, in this matchup, it's basically just another door.
Yeah.
So Misha here, understandably tanking a little bit, trying to figure out what he can do. obviously he's got the Ghostfire Slice in hand, which does 4 damage to you, and a Kroxa attack does 3 damage because you have no cards in hand. Correct. Again, also maybe perhaps the course of free fix keeping it in hand might have been a safer play.
May have been.
Although this way you can just chump block with it as well.
Yeah, I was hoping to get the blocker.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. No, I don't think I was correct. I think you're correct. So Misha here.
The decision was for Kroxa. Yeah. Saddle, I believe. Is it Saddle?
Saddle, yes.
Saddle.
Correct.
Trying to find a card that would kill me.
Looking for a 4 or something.
Yes.
Yes. So he speaks to 5 here. He has the Ghostfire Slice, which puts you to 1. Isn't quite enough, and he wraps it up.
Marit Lage.
Marit Lage, powerful magic card. Nice. Well, let's see how game 2 goes.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to the finals. Heading into game 2 now with Misha on the play. There's a bit of an error with the recording. When the recording started, they had to show their opening hands, so we're a little bit into the game. But Misha is on the play. He has an Anger, Unmarked Grave, a couple of lands. I'm assuming the Unmarked Grave can go grab the Commander Phoenix. I'm not sure I love this hand, but we'll see how it plays out. It just seems quite land heavy, not really a lot of action.
Yes.
But how's your hand looking?
A bit risky.
Sure.
So it's without Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
It's unkeepable.
Okay.
And that Once Upon a Time needs to hit a land.
Because
luckily,
you've got 2 lands in your hand, but Temple doesn't really count as a land.
Yeah,
not
as the 5th land is great. Wonderful card.
So Misha here tutored for these. I think it's called like a Skyfire Phoenix or something. It's a 3/3 where whenever he casts his commander, it returns from the graveyard to the battlefield. Quite strong in this deck in particular. You're playing the Crystal Vein and you're sacrificing it to play an Azusa. This is your turn 2, right?
This is my turn 2.
And you play a forest. And you've drawn into another land. A bounce land, okay. Is it a bounce tap for 2 colours?
It is, yes.
Are there 2 cards with that?
There are. One of them specifically, I believe it scries you one.
If you bounce the desert?
If you bounce the desert.
Yeah. That's from Thunder Junction. So are you happy with this board state, would you say?
It is relying a bit on there not being any removal headed my way next turn.
Sure, okay.
But based on kind of the way that Misha's reacting to the hand and way I think I'm decently safe.
Sure. But that's kind of more going off of instinct.
Yeah.
So Misha does seem to be thinking quite a lot here about what to do. Obviously, he can replay Kroxa, bringing back the Phoenix, attacking your hand a little bit. But instead, he's playing Buried Alive.
Yeah.
Shoot at any 3 creatures, put it into the graveyard.
Goes for the riskier play.
Yes, yeah. I'm not sure. He's already got the Anger in his hand, so he can't grab an Anger. I'm trying to think what cards are.
Well, there's part of the combo, the dragon.
Yeah, of course. I don't think he's the Animate Dead. I suppose he's grabbing 3 cards. He probably should just put the dragon in there. So if he ever top protects the Animate Dead, he has that. Has that combo. Poxwalkers, I think it's whenever he sacrifices something, he returns to the battlefield.
Yes, I believe
so. Casting Kroxa, not for the escape cost, would sacrifice, bring out the Poxwalkers, so that seems like a solid grab.
As I saw this card resolving, I was
getting excited.
I was giddy.
Because we know you have the endurance in your hand. Yes, yeah. Real blowout.
Oh, absolutely.
So would you just fire it off now, or would you wait to just build up more, see if you can get more with it?
I would just fire it off straight away. Yeah. Because I was unsure at the time about how the combo worked on the deck.
You just wanted to get rid of it before
That
makes sense. So Misha here seems to be thinking a little bit about what the third grab is. Oh yeah, no. I mean, all this hand really had going for it was that Unmarked Grave, get the Phoenix, and then obviously the Buried Alive. Now, oh, this is a real blowout.
Absolutely.
So you're just reading it, dragon here again. I think like whenever you read that card, you're a bit like, why is this person playing?
Yeah, I was a bit confused.
How are they in the finals when this card's in their deck? But no, it's a very exciting combo. I really hope that Misha gets to put it off against me one day.
I'm pitching a green.
Pitching the Avenger, okay. That must hurt. So that Avenger should be in exile.
Yes, we do. I believe we do realise in a second.
So, yeah, I'm not really sure what Misha's plan is here. He can still play the Kroxa, obviously, but another thing, like you've got rid of those good cards. Graveyard goes on the bottom, not next. Okay, but he also can't escape his Kroxa as easily now. as well as having cards that care about the graveyard. Yeah. Do you feel like you've won the game already?
Absolutely.
Obviously, it could go differently.
It could. But I think at this point in the game, it's difficult to kind of to come back from it.
Unless you've built yourself some time to really build up your board state.
And time is all I really need in this deck.
Do you know what you're grabbing with the expedition map?
If I were, I don't actually.
I guess that's a really good point. This deck is a deck that's situated quite well to, if games go long, you probably win.
Yeah.
Because you're playing just massive bombs that most people don't run.
Oh, absolutely.
Most people are more about efficiency.
Yeah. I mean, Ugin, the 8 cost, Planeswalker, absolutely.
Are you going to put the new 7 cost?
Absolutely, yeah.
I was quite curious about how good it was. You don't run many colourless cards, do you?
I think just it's on cast effect.
Is enough.
And drawing cards.
Sure.
That and gaining you life.
Yes.
Kind of everything you want.
Sure. And the ultimate wins you the game.
Yeah.
Because even though you don't run many colourless cards, you have enough eldrazi to just grab them and you win. So grabbing a Fabled Passage here. Only having 2 lands.
I will have.
But you can. You haven't played any lands. You can pair land, play. Yes. Yeah. This will be your 4th land. When because you've got the land you bounced from earlier. Okay, that makes sense. So how are you liking Azusa? You've been quite loyal to this deck for a while now.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's I never see myself wanting to play a different deck. I want to build other decks.
Sure.
And I think I'd probably test them out.
Yeah.
But at FNM, I think Azusa is just. It's tried and true.
Yes, you know what you're doing with it. So what I'm hearing is they should ban it.
There it is. The other one. It's the Tireless Tracker.
Nice, fantastic. Nice version. Is that from Innistrad Remastered?
Oh no! I believe it's in the list.
It's special guests.
Special guests. There we go. That's what it is. Yes. Unfortunately, I don't have the token, so we are using our.
That's fine. I can get you a clue token later. I've got spares.
I'm sure I have them. I just
didn't have one on you. That's fair. So you played Tireless Provision last time, and now you're playing the one that you said was better.
It is definitely better. And I've got that 2 mana. We've got the 5 lands, so it is on.
7 Fossil actually does something.
It does. And I think now I've got a value engine kind of going.
Yeah, the card draw is going to be hard for me to catch up with.
The way I think Miku would win from that position is if I run out of gas. Yeah. I don't draw any bombs.
But also, I feel like this turn would have been a great time to pair Doc's Toxic Deluge. Get rid of the Azusa and the Tracker. But the more time you have to just build up that advantage, the harder it's going to be to catch up. Maze of If, I feel like quite strong in this matchup, obviously.
Phenomenal card again, yeah.
So saves you 6 life from the Kroxa.
It also, in kind of very, very close games, it lets me kind of give pseudo-vigilance to the Marriage token.
You can do it after damage is dealt?
You can.
Ridiculous card. So you're playing up a Nissa here. Nissa. How do you pronounce it?
Nissa. I say Nissa.
Not Nissa. Okay, Nissa. Okay. Upticking to untap. And I guess, as you said, you can use it as a blocker or you can use it as a ramp. You can also use it to beat face.
Yeah, absolutely.
Secret third mode. That's a mulch effect?
It is. Is it mulch? I believe it might be just mulch itself.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, fair, yeah. Hitting 3 lands. Wow.
It's what you want.
So what is your current ratio of land to non-land?
I believe it's around 50-50.
And you want it to be more?
It should be, I think, probably more around 54, 55 lands.
Okay, right, wow.
Just because there are times where it's like a 2 land, like this game here. I think quite lucky this game.
If you didn't draw, because you really need lands early as well.
Do.
Yeah.
I think a 5 land hand with an elf or something to ramp you turn 1 is exactly what you want.
I think that Rashad import here is really powerful. Again, I think Misha really needs to start hitting back, and that Arena of Glory, being able to get down a hasty creature, if you're able to just keep that mana up.
Yes.
And tap down that Arena of Glory, denying him the haste. Or do something else.
I just want to hit for more damage.
No, that's reasonable. By cracking the clue to get extra point of damage. Yeah. Okay. So, fell the Profane here.
I was gutted.
Destroying the Nissa. I feel like you've still got enough advantage here.
I think so. I don't get the even more draws, which is unfortunate.
Okay. So Misha here seems to be thinking, resolving the Surveil. Not worth it. Playing, is that a big game hunter?
Yes.
Destroys a creature with power 4 or greater. Sadly not being cast for its madness value. Nihil Spellbomb, I believe it exiles a graveyard.
It does.
Yep. So that 5/5 is no longer a 5/5 now.
It is
so
not,
I guess it's hard because it doesn't look like you're that ahead, but I still feel like you are.
Absolutely.
Even
but just
though the board
because
set looks a bit more
I have life.
You have life.
That's the important thing.
And also your top decks are higher quality than other people. Apart from you could top deck lands, but something like this helps you get through the lands. Yeah.
Exactly.
Is this Oracle of Little Dire?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And it gives me an additional land drop as well.
Nice. Fierce Empath on top, I believe is the name of the card. It's the free drop that lets you tutor for a 6 or greater.
And with the clues, I can just draw it.
Nice. Okay, fantastic.
And then Delighted Halfling on top, as usual.
Shuffle it away. Shuffle it away. So I'm assuming this is a Fierce Empath. Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know what the grab is here?
Probably Prime Time.
Sure.
There's not a lot of cards that actually use this for.
Is grabbing Prime Time better than grabbing one of your big Eldrazi?
With I think the current with the Eldrazi's, I do need to have quite a lot of mana. I have lots,
sure. I've not
but I don't think enough. And there's
Sure.
obviously the one that reduces its cost, but the bomb.
Yeah. Oh, I guess. You tutor for it. It goes
and
to
then
your hand.
immediately.
But after you've resolved the tutor, you have priority.
I wouldn't have had enough mana to cast
Sure, that's fair.
Because
that's
I've already
fair.
paid the 3 for the.
Yes, that's
tutor,
fair. Yeah. If you had enough mana, you could. Yeah. Otherwise, you have to pass priority. You can go to your graveyard before you get a chance to cast it. That's the one that steals his next turn. The one that costs 1 less for each card type.
Yes. And I control. Yeah.
Very good, Emrakul.
Which would be nice because, if the bomb hadn't been used...
Crack is a bomb himself, 100%. I mean, he doesn't have the mana here, so if you could cast... I mean, obviously we're talking about hypotheticals that are kind of pointless, but... That Blast Set is one of my least favourite lands in this game. I hate it.
I love it.
It's so good against light balls.
It is incredible.
It's horrible.
And if I have... not Richard Port, the other one, the one that untaps one of my lands... Can't remember that card's called.
Is there a land that untaps lands?
There is a
land
that untaps
lands. Right, wow.
And that card with
do you pay mana to do that?
It costs 1.
Sure. 1 mana tap and tap a land. That seems really good. So Misha's griefing you. Oh, that's why... so Misha's griefing you here. Taking the Prime Time, easy decision. Leaving you with a Crucible and a second card.
I believe it is Sylvan Library, I believe is the name of
Oh, wow,
card.
powerful card.
Very powerful card.
Although you don't really want to be taking damage in this matchup, I imagine.
Honestly, looking at the top 3, putting 2 back.
Sure, the selection.
And then you have so many fetches.
Yeah.
Shuffling a library.
So Ugin on top here is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think deceptively strong sometimes. Like, obviously the ultimate to remove... The negative to remove everything's good.
It's incredible. Unfortunately, it is only... things that have colour.
Yes, yeah.
So, things like a Assault Monolith doesn't get rid of.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder why you're mentioning that. But uptaking the 3 damage is just going to end games.
Oh, yeah.
Just kill all their creatures and then hit them in the face. And the ultimate is gain 7 life, draw 7 cards.
I don't think I've ever resolved it.
Never resolved it. Okay, fair.
The minus and the plus.
The minus and the plus is all you need.
So good.
Yeah.
The minus on its own, I think, is... it wins games on its own.
Oh, 100% it's backbreaking. Because you get rid of everything on the board, but you have an Ugin now.
Yeah.
And that's what you really need. I'm quite curious to see how the new Ugin plays out.
Yeah, I think it's just...
Here's a question. Would you ever consider running the Tron lands in this deck? Because you
I know some lists do.
Sure.
Some lists do run them. I think it's a bit pointless.
Sure.
Because if you're tutoring for 3 lands, you could just get a Merit Lage.
I mean, the only thing that that's true. The only thing that makes them... I think the Tron lands are a lot better since there was a card that was printed in a Commander deck recently that has all land types.
Yes,
which means that plus Tower is 4 mana. You don't necessarily need to go for the full 7. You could just get that in Tower.
That's true.
But I'm just curious. I'm only thinking of this because you said Temple's good enough.
Yes.
I guess a colourless land isn't terrible in your deck, but then your colourless lands probably have to do quite a lot to justify it because you can afford to play utility lands, But then which utility lands you play is a bit of a debate.
And you do need a green.
And yeah, you exactly for and you probably need several greens sometimes as well.
Yes.
So I blinked and the board was gone. What do you need? What happened here? Azusa died. Ugin's now been slow.
I think I might have just blocked.
Sure. Okay. Right. Fair. Yeah. That makes sense. Ugin's coming down, upticking to bolt, and this brutal. I mean, obviously the benefit maybe has that Arena of Glory can haste something out, but 8 loyalty is so much loyalty
during.
And
what actually happened is Miku did draw a card before I could.
Sure, but you meant to do it then. Yeah. Oh, and he scoops it up. That's fine. I mean, a resolved Ugin is a game.
Oh, absolutely.
So congratulations, Tom.
Thank you. Yes.
Finally on camera.
Wonderful. Obviously, I've won a draft before, one draft.
Yes.
Not filmed, unfortunately.
But now you've won a game of
I'm very happy.
Very proud of you, mate.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all again next week.